Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining me in this video. This is another security report that has been titled Nigeria among all other West African countries. Below Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, Ghana, Ivory Coast. A country that was once called the Giant of Africa has been on the feet of other African countries. It's so pathetic anyway, but that is an indication of what we have been saying since, that we don't have a place we call a country, okay? Now, Nigeria was hit in West Africa after recording 913 deaths from terror attack in January end report. Don't worry, stay with me. We're going to go into the details for you to understand where this report is coming from. Now, let us begin to expatiate this. The Center of Democracy Development is saying that 913 deaths recorded in Nigeria in January. That has overthrown Gaza and Ukraine. January alone, about 1,000 deaths reported. Now, let me come to tell you from my own findings. I think this Center for Democracy, their report is totally wrong, okay? The reason why I said it's totally wrong because I do report about insecurity going on in Nigeria. The report we even received in a week alone, if you verify it, I think there is every possibility that you could arrive at just 500 people. 500 people in a week in Nigeria. And there is no way you will be able to even ascertain the exact number. It's not possible because according to the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, they said that most, 90% of the crime going on in Nigeria is happening in the rural area, where you don't have journalists, you don't have reporters, you don't have people to even tell police. Some of them die without police consent and so on and so forth. This is where we are living. Okay, now, let us go into the details for you to understand what we are saying. It reads that Nigeria has emerged as the West Africa countries most severely affected by the region's deepening security crisis, accounting for 96.8% of conflict-related fatalities. According to a new report by the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, the report highlighted a sharp escalation in insurgency, terrorism, and intercommunal violence across West Africa, particularly in January 2025. So, this report from the Center for Democracy and Development is focusing on January and 2025. That is last 2 months. Okay, stay with me. Data from the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project, ACLED, pointed to an alarming rise in jihadist attack, with militant groups such as Jama'at Nusrat al-Islam, War Muslimin, and ISIS Sahel expanding their operation reach by exploiting weak governance and porous borders. The report warned that the security forces in Nigeria, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Benin are struggling to contain the escalating violence. The report detailed how insurgents in Mali and Burkina Faso launched large-scale attacks against military forces and civilians, causing mass casualties and displacement. Burkina Faso's northern and eastern region have been particularly hard hit with jihadists overpowering state security efforts. Meanwhile, Mali remained in turmoil as Wagner-affiliated forces and government troops engaged in counter-insurgency operations that had drawn accusations of human rights violations. Benin, that is Benin Republic, once considered relatively insulated from jihadist activities, is now experiencing a worrying spillover of violence from Burkina Faso. The report noted that militant groups have intensified cross-border raids, exposing the country's security vulnerabilities and underscoring the transactional nature of the crisis. Now, if you remember, I'm going to play the video for you. If you remember, that was a week ago, there was a guy from Burkina Faso, and he have stayed in a western Benin Republic, close to Burkina Faso. The report he gave me is what the Sahara Reporters report is just confirming, that Burkina Faso military, that they are chasing all these jihadists, ISWAP, ISIS, Boko Haram, they are chasing them down and they have entered Benin Republic. Okay, now what is the mission of all these jihadists and everything that is going on in Nigeria? Their mission is just simple: to Islamize Nigeria, to Islamize West Africa, They want Islamic rule in all this sub-Saharan Africa. Now, when you look at the Northern Africa, look at it from Algeria, Morocco, Tunisia, Libya, Egypt, all of them practice all this Islamic law. Okay, now this is what they want West Africa as well to join. It's not going to be possible. Everybody has their freedom of association and religion. But it's unfortunate that in Nigeria, the government are aiding them to do that because a lot of them has the same interest. This thing is all about interest. They are being sponsored by people all over the country, but who gave them the initiation? It is Nigeria politicians. We are aware of how they form Boko Haram and so on and so forth, with so many things that has been happening. So Nigeria is the worst that has been hit by all these insurgents. Where are we going from here? If we remain like this from now till June, to the end of this year, everybody in Nigeria must have been hit by these insurgents. This is not a prayer. This is not a wish. But we talk reality out of issues. Everybody in Nigeria must taste this insecurity by December if we did not come together and discuss how we can secure our nations. When I mean our nations, Nigeria comprises of so many nations, so Nigeria can never be one. Okay, every indigenous people must protect their people. If not, forget about all the whole jargons people might speak on the internet. All the whole jargons people might speak. What they forget everything they are telling you. Nigeria is gone and gone forever if urgent step is not being taken. Okay. All right. Thanks for joining us.
I just want to throw a little bit light on what you was discussing. So my own suggestion is this. It's like we have given our leaders enough chance to manipulate us. And it's high time we react the way we should do as a human. For example, now here I am. There is a major road that was constructed by Ekpa, which is from Nigeria to Burkina Faso, to Mali, Senegal, and so rest of them. So that road now is no-go area. That road now is no-go area because of what? All these terrorists of it and so rest of them. So before, when I came to this country newly, because where I serve my business is along the road, so you used to see all these cars, as in they used to go to Cotonou, load fuel, load cars, load whatever they want to load, and they will be going to Burkina, Mali, Senegal, and so rest of them. But today, they are no longer using this road because of what? All this Boko Haram of it. So they have closed that border for more than, if I'm not mistaken, for more than 7 years now. So last time there was a lot of soldiers of this republic that they killed that place. They sent them for operation and they killed all of them. So because when they fight at the other side of Burkina will face them with as in what they deserve, and they will run back to this side. Are you get? So all the time, it's like what this president said. I couldn't remember the name of the president. He said that there are 3 countries in Africa that are sponsoring Boko Haram. One is Nigeria, second is Benin Republic, and third is Djibouti or which country I don't remember. I get it. Even though Traore is facing many challenges, they're even trying to assassinate him and the rest of them, but yet those that are seen are no truth. I think what the man is doing, that he came for betterment of the country. But because the cabals, what they are getting before, they're no longer getting it. That's why they are trying to assassinate him. So coming back to Nigeria, the only solution in Nigeria is division, as the other lady said. When Nigeria is divided, then an Igbo man will hustle to make his home a better place, or to build his home the way he wants it to be. Likewise, Hausa and Yoruba and so rest of them, as in those that want to divide. Keep somebody in a forced marriage will never solve the problem. And like what the lady said, that they have been sold out, that even if there is their mother that was protesting, that they will not say anything. So, and another thing, if possible, so let me use an example of if it is a Hopo Zodima, Bitamba, that of him by state, Mwifuru or something, or this one that Anambra state, this that is talking nonsense. If you could remember what's happening in Enugu last time, in Uzuhali, if I may remember, when Ifeanyi was the governor of Enugu State. When the Fulani came and started slaughtering people and so on, what did he do when he came? He was crying, saying, yes, as a man. Normal, if that DPO said, you're supposed to buy the man there and show him how the thing, that as how it is suit. Are you getting me? But you were putting the head of the gun, hitting the man, say what happened. That's not how things should be done now. They are doing this thing now because of what? Very soon now, it will be a rainy season and farming will start. To give another panic to our women, our mothers, our farmers, so that they will not go to farm. And with this, they will be telling us that they are the one feeding us. That if they want, they will go with their food, and so on, we will be starving. Igbo land is not landlocked. We can grow any crop we want to grow in Igbo land.
Yeah.
We can grow any crop. They think that we are fighting for Biafra is because of oil. Oil is not even in the list of why we are fighting for Biafra. We want a better place where my own opinion will be counting. Where I will be living like, I will be living like a human being, not like an animal in the cage. Even so, Nnamdi Kanu say this. Even some animals in the cage are far more better than us. Yeah. Even we that used to come, we follow Semebon and and come back to Nigeria. If we tell you what we are passing through there as an Igbo, we piss us.
Serious.
You will be in a taxi like this with the Republic people and some Yoruba or Hausa and so rest of them. When you get to immigration of a checkpoint, they will stop you. They will be asking you, where are you coming from? You will be proud that you are in Nigeria and that you are in your country and so rest of them. And you will be telling them, I'm in Nigeria. And where are you coming from? Benin Republic. Where are you going to? I'm going to Lagos or so place. They will ask you to come down.
Serious.
Never mention that you are never mention your Igbo name or that you are from East. They will ask you to come down. And if care is not taken, what you will pay there that day, you will regret it. I tell you, severally, I was passing there with my passport, fully stamped and so rest of them. If you show them passport, they will tell you that that's not what they are eating. But they will leave strangers that are together with you, and you will be the one that they will tackle it. So it made the thing I didn't go to a stage. I decided not to follow that road again. Instead of following that road, I started following water.
How do they follow water?
When you get to Cotonou, there's one town that once they used to call Cotonou. When you get to Cotonou, there is this road that follows this thing, Owede to close to roundabout. So when you get to that Owede, you will ask Okada that you are going to Waterside. They will take you to Waterside. You will take a boat. That boat now will bring you, this thing, the young park that is in this thing, Maituba. Yeah. It will bring you will just follow the back where the boat will drop you. We just trek and enter that young park. And it's another reason.
You understand.
All these things, honestly, we are not happy about it. But my own is like as if to say, Igbo people, as in they are the chosen lamb that will be slaughtered any day, anytime, anywhere. We don't have anyone that is speaking for us. And even the one that decided to sacrifice everything he has to speak for us, we still keep him in detention. Yeah. What did Nnamdi Kanu do that nobody have ever done in Nigeria? Just tell me.
You understand.
People have done that before. They are still doing it, and they will still do it. What did Nnamdi Kanu do? Will you tell me that had it been that somebody from North or an Hausa that is, let me say, a prince of anemia, and they will keep him in detention, even though the father is no longer alive and he's supposed to take over the throne of his father? They will keep him in detention for these years. Where is our traditional rulers, our pastors, our priests, those that claim that they are representing us and so rest of them? Where are they? Look at how Imo State is today. Hope Uzodimma have turned Imo State upside down, thinking that after his reign or maybe he will reign forever. Political office is not a job. It's an appointment. You can leave anytime and another person will come.
If only they know.
It's like what Nnamdi Kanu said, that when Biafra comes, whatever post you got to occupy, you will just have that 8 years or maybe 5 years to show your people that you care for them. After that, you go back and look for something doing. But in Nigeria, somebody will be a governor today. Before he finished the 8 years, he's already looking as in trying to occupy another position, maybe Senate. He'll be a senator. From senator, they will have another nominating minister. From minister, he will be turning up and down. Like I used to say that, as in he can't do any other thing if not politics. Look at P2B. Honestly speaking, if they don't release Nnamdi Kanu, we don't know where we are for now. Because many things are happening. Many things are happening underground in our backyard that we don't know.
Of course.
Igbo people, we don't like somewhere that is dirty. Going into the bush, we hardly see an Igbo man going into the bush. And that's why when these people come, they will occupy our bushes and make it as in permanent place for themselves. They will come out from that place, create havoc outside, and go back. Even if we see them going back, we will chase them to a limit and we'll go back. We will think maybe that place they are going to, maybe is a den of lion or whatever, some other nature. I don't know. It's like what she said, that maybe they will tell Pitamba to shun them or to do this, to do that. Pitamba will do it. He killed one guy when he called it Ayumo Fisbuli from my village. There was protesting that many people tried it. Stop it at home. This one came. Stop it at home. It's only Ifan Yogwani that I saw that finish his tenure without asking anybody to stop it at home. Let me tell you, if not because of it at home, Nnamdi Kanu, Akit is okay for years. But this sit at home is what used to make people to remember that there is somebody that is in detention because of us. All I have to say is what? It's better if we can capture one or two of these governors. This day free. We will suffer the same thing that those people used to suffer. I'm telling you honestly.
This way, my brother. This way.
Because what will you do to them that will attend to them? All they care about is their family, their children, even their extended family. They don't care. If you like, go kidnap the person, they will not even bother. Donald Trump is what I said last time, that he's deporting people that are in the US and the rest of them. And I said one thing, I'm happy he's doing so, but at least let him focus on the children of those politicians from Africa and leave those that sold their land, those to look for a greener pasture. Let them hustle and make a living and feed home. But those sons and daughters of our politicians, governor, senator, minister, president, both president and the past and the rest of them, let deport all of them. Not only deporting them, ban them not to see them again in America. If possible, let Europe do the same thing again. Because you may deport them from America and they will come back and turn to Europe or maybe Asia and the rest of them. Deport them. All this Western world, you don't want to see them there. What is it taking ECOWAS? Let me say ECOWAS, West Africa, to build a standard hospital. Let it just be like our politicians, president, ministers, and all the rest of them. Go to US or go to wherever you want to go today. Those qualified doctors that are there, they are maybe, let me say, Africans, most especially Nigerians. It's like last time they were asking doctors not to go outside to look for a job. You cannot provide one for them, and we're asking them not to go out.
So right, my
brother. We can't provide job for the youth. The ones that are doing a little to pick $1, $2, $1, $3 from outside, we are still arresting them. What do you want them to do?
So right, my brother.
We can't do anything to them. They have penetrated us. They have finished us. They know our in and out. All we can do now is what? Make sure that TSN is functioning. All these things that they are creating, this and that, they are not doing anything. So that's just my own contribution. At least if we can capture one of the governors, the ministers, the senators, and so rest of them, as in let the person suffer the pain that the poor masses are suffering, then maybe we will be talking to them and they will be hearing. Also, normal, he's one that's supposed to be agitating for the release of his brother. Let me say his son, not his brother. His son. But he's saying nothing. Because of what? Maybe he's looking for maybe next election he will get a Senate president. Who will give it to him? As an Igbo man, even in my next one, I will still ask God to make me an Igbo man, but honestly, I don't have any say in Nigeria today.
It's all right. Thank you so much.
So that is just my own contribution, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
All right. I think this is just a live broadcast that is not going to be long. We are going to stop now. Thank you so much, everyone who truly joined us. It is, well, it's so pathetical. It's so unfortunate. And tomorrow we are going to dig deep into the crimes these people have committed against our mothers. And we are going to take swift action. We're not going to allow these things just to go like this, because if not, more and more things will just continue to happen like this, of which we are not going to allow it to happen. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me this evening.